All right, so today we're diving into a pretty big story.
Yeah, this one's huge.
It could really change how we think about employee rights in the digital age.
Definitely the future of work and all that.
Exactly.
It's Apple versus the National Labor Relations Board. And believe me, this goes way beyond just iPhones and algorithms.
Yeah, for sure.
This is about power.
It really is.
Who has it and how they can use it.
Okay, so for anyone who hasn't been following every twist and turn of this story, the NLRB, which, and this is important, is the independent federal agency that makes sure U.S. labor law is actually followed.
Right, they're the enforcers.
Exactly.
Not just a suggestion, it's the law.
Exactly. So they're saying that Apple is breaking the law by clamping down on how employees can use platforms like Slack and even their personal social media.
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal.
Huge, because the NLRB is basically saying these restrictions are straight up illegal.
And their argument is pretty clear-cut. Right. They're saying that what Apple's doing, these restrictions, they directly interfere with a fundamental right that workers in the U.S. have.
Which is?
The right to organize and fight for better working conditions. This isn't about whether you can post a picture of your cat on your day off. It's about whether your employer can control how you talk about your experience as an employee, even outside of work hours.
And just to be clear, we're not talking about hypotheticals here, right?
Right.
The NLRB is pointing to specific things that Apple has done.
Specific examples, real situations.
Exactly, like allegedly pressuring an employee to delete something they posted on their own social media.
Wow.
And putting limits on what people can even talk about on company channels like Slack. But the case that really brings us all into focus, the one everyone's talking about, is Janik Parrish.
Yeah, Janik Parrish. She's become a symbol for this whole debate.
Definitely. I mean, she was an Apple employee, and she became a really vocal advocate for workers' rights.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking organizing online, using those company channels to talk about things like pay equity, pushing for more remote work options.
Which, by the way, is huge in this day and age.
Absolutely. And it's clear why Apple might be a little concerned. But the NLRB is saying that firing Parrish was a way to silence her and any other employees who might speak up.
It sets a scary precedent.
For sure.
Now, to be fair, Apple is pushing back. They're denying any wrongdoing, and they're saying they're committed to a positive work environment for their employees.
Of course.
And they plan to present their side of the story at a hearing in February. But here's the thing. Even if, and that's a big if, they manage to defend themselves in this specific case, it still raises some big questions about slacktivism.
Slacktivism. It's become the word of the day, hasn't it?
Right, this whole idea of employee activism that basically plays out online.
It's the intersection of social media and the workplace, and it's messy.
Definitely messy. I mean, on one hand, these platforms give employees more power than ever before. They can connect with each other, organize, speak up about problems.
And they can do it in a way that's very public, very quickly.
Exactly. But for companies, it's a nightmare scenario. They're worried about productivity taking a hit. They're worried about confidential information getting out. And of course, they're worried about bad PR.
I mean, can you imagine the headlines?
Right. So it becomes this balancing act.
Absolutely, because you want your employees to feel heard.
You have to in this climate.
But how much is too much?
Exactly. And that leads to the million-dollar question, the one that nobody seems to have a good answer to. Where does our right to free speech begin and end when it comes to the digital workplace?
It's almost impossible to say the lines between our online lives and our offline lives are totally blurred.
And this case could decide where those lines are drawn, not just for Apple employees, but potentially for all of us.
It sets a precedent, right? If Apple wins, what does that mean for other companies? Could we see a future where just talking about your wages with a coworker online gets you disciplined? Fired, even.
It's a lot to think about, and honestly, I don't think we have all the answers yet, but it's something we're all going to have to grapple with as technology continues to change how we work and live.
Absolutely. This is just the beginning.
It really is.
The future of work is being decided right now in courtrooms and online forums, and it's more important than ever to pay attention.
And to make our voices heard.
Exactly, because who knows what happens with this case could affect all of us.
It really could.
So speak up. Join the conversation, and let's see where this goes.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And on that note, we'll be back next week with another deep dive into the biggest stories shaping the future of tech and culture.
See you then.
See ya.